Without an oven and just with a frying pan, you can fully enjoy dessert time or sweet time. Today, I'm going to show you how to make 3 desserts and none of them use the oven, starting with this chocolate wonder that I'm sure you're going to love. The first thing I do is prepare the frying pan, so I put a bit of parchment paper on the bottom. If not, you have to grease it really well with butter. I also place a few pieces along the sides to help with unmolding later. Now, in a large saucepan, I pour in a cup or 200 ml of heavy cream, and optionally, a splash of vanilla. And also, today's magic: chocolate broken into pieces so it melts faster. I'm using dark chocolate for desserts with about 50% cocoa, but you can really use any chocolate you prefer. You put it over medium heat, and as you can see, in no time, and by stirring it, it turns into a chocolate sauce. When you see that the chocolate is melted, add a big heaping spoonful of butter. Thanks to the heat of the mixture, it will melt, and you'll end up with a shiny and delicious sauce like this. You can also add a splash of vanilla extract to this chocolate mixture. Vanilla always goes really well with chocolate sauces or creams, so if you want, add it in and enjoy it even more. What we're gonna do now is dip a pack of cookies in milk, but one at a time, because we're only going to dip them a little bit. We take the pan we prepared earlier and start placing a layer of those cookies. Dip and place, until we have the base more or less covered. On top, we pour a good amount of the chocolate sauce we just made, which is still warm, and we move the pan a little so it spreads evenly. Everything, look, it spreads out in no time. And from now on, we repeat the process until we've used up all the sauce. That is, a layer of cookies, a layer of cream, a layer of cookies, and so on until everything is covered. Look how amazing it looks. And we've put this together in just a few minutes. We just need the final touch. And we're gonna do it on the same stove as before. So, we take this pan and put it on low heat. Keep it low and cover the pan for just about 5 minutes. Then you take it off the heat and let it cool down. When it's just warm, you put it in the fridge or refrigerator for at least 3 or 4 hours, although if you want, you can prepare it a day in advance, and it will be great. And since time flies on the internet, I already have this ready. We take out the pan, and here's the super cake tart. What would you call it? Honestly, it looks amazing, and it smells like cookies and chocolate. Seriously, it blows your mind. This is scary good. Now we're gonna put a little plate on it, flip it over, and thanks to the paper, it'll come out of the mold. We remove the paper, and we could serve it just like that. But I actually like the other side better, so I use another plate, flip it the other way, and look, it looks nice this way too. Like I said, put it on a plate, and voila, the cake is ready and done. So now it's time to enjoy it. Look. What a piece of creamy dessert with its layer of chocolate cookie, all prepared directly in a pan. An impressive result, which is the most important thing. Now comes the cut. Look at the cut. Look at the cut. Look at the cut inside. Oh my, chocolate cookie, chocolate cookie, chocolate. How delicious and also cool and creamy. Look how the weight of the spoon picks up one piece and another and another. Doesn't it look good? Do you want a piece? Well, I feel like having one too, but let me explain 2 things first. First, this fantastic oatmeal cake. To prepare it, we take a large utensil like this, with 2 eggs inside and also sweetener to taste. I use erythritol, but use whichever one you want, and also a splash of vanilla essence, extract, or flavoring. We're gonna beat all of this, so give it a good mix for 1 or 2 minutes until you have a completely smooth texture. Once you have it nice and frothy like this, add 150 milliliters of milk, or your favorite plant-based drink, 3/4 of a cup, and mix it in so everything combines. Once it's all mixed, we'll move on to the dry ingredients, and the first one is ground oats, also called oat flour, 150 grams or a little more than 1 cup. Next, add 2 teaspoons of baking powder and mix it in. That's all there is to it. Just keep stirring so the dry ingredients combine with the liquid, creating a kind of liquid or very runny batter, smooth like this. Finally, add a teaspoon of oil to give it that final moist touch. Mix it in, and your cake batter is ready. See? That was easy. I'll prepare it today in a pan like this, an 18-centimeter one, and as you can see, I lined the bottom with a bit of parchment paper or baking paper. I like to moisten it a bit, even with oil, so it sticks nicely. Then cream on top, making sure to use every last drop, thanks to the spatula. And now let's cook, always on medium or medium heat. And the trick is to place a pan lid on top. Let it cook until when you poke it with a toothpick, it comes out clean. If it still comes out a bit doughy like mine, leave it for a few more minutes, between 10 and 20 minutes. That's usually normal, but it really depends. So juicy, so delicious. One piece after another. And another one. A cake with body, but fluffy and with a flavor you're going to love. Enjoy oats at home and all their benefits. Look at the slice. What a fantastic and wonderful result. But I already told you I wasn't leaving without showing you. 3, and this last one with apple, is possibly the tastiest. Just peel some apples. Specifically with 3 apples like this, more or less large, it's enough. The important thing is to have them like this, well peeled, and then cut them into wedges or strips. But those slices or strips should be thick, not too thin, about like this. Almost a centimeter. Once you have the apples cut into thick wedges, place them in a pan where you want to prepare this marvel. Butter, specifically 1/3 of a cup. And we're gonna put it over medium-high heat. For example, if your stovetop goes up to 10, set it to 7 or 7.5. Then you add sugar, about 50 grams, 1/4 of a cup, and when the butter is melted, stir well and let it cook for a bit until the sugar granules start to disappear. Then you add the chopped apple from earlier here, and we're gonna cook and caramelize everything at the same time. The only important thing is to remember to stir it from time to time and cook for about 10 minutes. If you're wondering if this would turn out the same with another fruit, the answer is, it depends. It depends on the fruit. If the fruit is solid and can be cut into thick slices, then yes. You can do it with peach. You can do it with mango, you can do it with pear, but obviously with orange or lemon, which would almost turn completely into liquid. You can't do it. If you notice, as you cook, the apple releases some juice and makes it even easier to cook, and it starts to get a golden color. We don't waste those 10 minutes. Instead, we use that time to easily prepare the dough. We take 2 large eggs, size L, along with 1/3 of a cup of sugar, about 70 grams. And we're gonna beat all of this thoroughly. You can use a fork or hand whisk, but an electric one is better since it requires less effort and finishes much faster. The main idea is it should triple in volume and turn whitish and foamy as shown here. Then you add 2 tablespoons of oil, about 20 milliliters, also about 60 of milk more or less, 1/4 cup or a little more. And also a good splash of vanilla essence, extract, or flavoring to give it an extra touch of flavor. You beat it again until everything is well mixed, and then you add a cup of flour. Do it through a strainer so there are no lumps, and it dissolves quickly and easily. And also add a teaspoon of baking powder and mix all of this together. Don't turn on the machine until the liquid is partially mixed, or the flour will fly everywhere. Mix it by hand first, then turn the machine on. And remember to scrape both the sides and the bottom so everything becomes liquid and without lumps. Then we check the pan again, and when you see that the apple starts to get golden, that about 10 minutes have passed. Add ground cinnamon to taste, starting from ½ teaspoon. That's enough. But since I love it, as you can see, I've added a bit more. And what I do is stir it around so that the cinnamon dissolves with the caramel and coats the apple. We'll cook it like this for about 2 minutes, and then we'll add the cream. If the apple slices end up looking odd or are piled on top of each other, just press them down a bit and arrange them, because that's how your tart will look in the end. So arrange the slices nicely and pour this cream on top. That's it. Just pour it in. Use a spatula to make sure you get every last drop. Cover it with any lid that fits your pan from any pot and cook it, but make sure to lower the heat to medium. We're gonna leave it for 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes, without having opened the lid even once, we'll check it. Normally, it should already be cooked. But if you poke it with a toothpick and it comes out clean, perfect. Take it off the heat and let it rest for a bit. But before you take it out of the mold, wait another 10 or 15 minutes and then it's ready. And look. It looks amazing. And flipping this pan over is truly a real pleasure. Look at that beautiful color. And if you get closer, you can smell the aroma even more. And it makes you want it even more. What a real wonder. Most importantly, as with people, desserts are all about what's inside. Just look at this cut. What a marvel, what rhythm. You can see that the fork, almost just with its own weight, is already cutting through it. Look at that golden color. It's irresistible. Honestly, all three are, so I can't tell which one you liked best. Tell me in the comments which one you liked. And if you want even more, YouTube tells me that the video that appears here is going to amaze you.